Watching, thank you. Today I'm going to be making my first reaction video, hopefully at least the first one that goes up on the internet. I'm using my phone, don't know how to edit yet, so most of the stuff I make doesn't go anywhere. But today I'm going to be looking at a video from about 6 years ago. BuzzFeed put it out, and it's questions Muslims have for non-Muslims. So let's get into this.
With Santa. So breaking and entering is okay as long as he's a chubby white dude. And he's eating your mama's cookies.
Sorry, hold on.
When are you gonna stop asking me if I...
Okay, gonna take off subtitles. I'll leave them on. I don't know who's watching. Okay, I don't like subtitles, but I'll leave them on for you guys. Okay, here we go.
What's the deal with Santa? So breaking and entering is okay as long as he's a chubby white dude. And he's eating your mama's cookies.
Okay, first of all, I don't do Santa Claus. I'm a Christian. I don't believe in lying to my kids. If I wasn't a Christian, I'd still probably not do Santa Claus. I don't know what this has to do with Muslims for non-Muslims. This just sounds like Muslim Americans to other Americans. I don't know what it is. Second of all, Santa's not eating your mama's cookies according to the lore and the way it goes. You put the cookies out to Santa. If anything, Santa's basically a god who you provide offerings to. Anyways.
When are you gonna stop asking me if I pray 5 times a day? That's so mean.
Oh my goodness. Okay, going back. Split screen. Camera. There we go. All right. Let's try this again.
What's the deal with Santa? So breaking and entering is okay as long as he's a chubby white dude. And he's eating your mama's cookies.
When are you gonna stop asking me if I pray 5 times a day? That's so mean. Because I don't. I feel guilty.
Why must you put bacon?
Okay, that one didn't sound like a real question. At first it did, and then it turned into not a question. It was basically just like a sassy joke like, oh, I don't do what I should be doing and I feel bad about it. You're reminding me. So it's not really a question meant to be answered.
In everything.
Bacon-infused donuts? Come on now.
Is this water safe to drink? There's bacon in this water, huh?
Do you really think women wearing a hijab don't have hair underneath? Do you think that when you see someone with a beanie, a hat, a hoodie?
Why do you think all Muslims are Arab?
What was that? The two straw man questions here. We had, well, okay, why is bacon in everything? That's just more of a complaint. Yeah, bacon's in a lot of things. But again, not a question meant to be answered, because it's not literally in everything, but it's in things because it's good. I mean, you probably can eat tomatoes, so I don't know if you're asking why are tomatoes in everything, but tomatoes are in a lot of things. Why is avocado in everything, right? I mean, okay, second thing, do you really think we don't have hair underneath? I don't know what she's talking about there. I don't know if I missed one. Here, let me go back.
Aren't 1 billion people in the Middle East?
There's bacon in this water, huh?
Do you really think women wearing a hijab don't have hair underneath? Do you think that when you see someone with a beanie, a hat, a hoodie?
Why do you think all Muslims are Arab?
There aren't 1 billion people in the...
I mean, the majority of the Arab world is Muslim. No, it's doing it again. Okay. The majority of the Arab world is Muslim, and most people who are Muslim are born into it rather than converting into it, and probably those who do convert to it a lot of the time are going to be other people in mostly Muslim nations who wind up converting to Islam because it's in their local area and they're already pretty... Sorry, it cut out. I ran out of memory and had to make some space. So we're going to try again. One moment. Okay.
Is this water safe to drink? There's bacon in this water, huh?
Do you really think women wearing a hijab don't have
Also,
hair
she's
underneath? Do you
very,
think that when you
like,
see someone with a beanie,
condescending.
a hat,
This one.
a hoodie?
Why do you think all Muslims are Arab?
There aren't 1 billion people in the Middle East. That's geographically, physically, intellectually impossible.
Why are only Muslims mentioned in talks about religious extremism? Did y'all forget about the KKK, Westboro Baptist Church, Crusades?
Okay, first of all, Muslims are not the only group that gets talked about in conversations of extremism, because the KKK, the Westboro Baptist Church, and the Crusades do get talked about. In fact, whenever someone publicly talks about Islamic extremism, there's a very good chance that someone is going to bring up the Crusades. Anyways, there is more extremism. First of all, Crusades were hundreds of years ago. Okay, Westboro Baptist Church and KKK are now, but... Oh my goodness, what's it doing? Okay. Westboro Baptist Church and KKK are here now, but they're not doing as much damage as Islamic extremists are, like actual terrorists. And that's not to say most Muslims are terrorists or that most Muslims support terrorism. That's just to say that there has to be a conversation wherever there's violence. And there's much more violence, at least numerically, coming from is extremists who claim that they're following Islam than there is from the KKK or the Westboro Baptist Church. So it's not really... The question basically shows a lack of thought into the situation. I think that her irritation could have been better phrased if it was something like, many of the people who complain about Islam seem to only care about Islam and not other forms of extremism. If you're one of those people, like, why is that? But then again, that's not a Muslim to non-Muslim thing. That's a very specific thing.
We all have the bad seeds in the family.
Why do you assume all Muslim women are conservative virginal souls? And I am, if my mom's watching.
Why do you expect every...
I don't know if anyone assumes that, but if they do, it's probably because people who are religious... Okay, take Christianity, for example, and maybe the lack of understanding here is because people who aren't religious don't really... Or because people who are non-Muslim in America are more likely to be Christian than in other religion. But Christianity, unlike other religions, is not a religion that you're born into. It's one that you choose personally. Like, I'm a Christian, but the way that kind of me and everybody else I knew in church growing up, the way that it was is your parents are Christian, but that doesn't mean that you are. You are a Christian if you personally make your own commitment to follow Jesus and you believe that you're saved. So maybe what it is this idea that... Oh, it's my cat. Maybe there's this idea that if you are religious, it means that you value your religion, not that it's necessarily something you're born into. So if a person is a Christian and it's because they choose to be, and they kind of commit their lives to it, then maybe that kind of same mindset applies to Muslims, where you think if you're identifying as a Muslim, it's because you actually believe in the Quran and or the Hadith. Well, not and or, but maybe the Hadith, maybe not. And you probably value what your religion teaches. So it might just be an assumption, like kind of forgetting that some people are Muslim just because they're born into it, and it doesn't really mean anything to them. And I will say, I do recognize that there are Christians who call themselves Christians but don't really believe it because it's what they grew up with. But Christianity itself teaches that it's not something you're born into. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Some women wear a headscarf. Does every Catholic woman dress like a nun? Does every Jewish man wear a
Does every Catholic woman... No, only nuns dress like nuns. Okay? But you would say... Her thing about does every Jewish man wear a yarmulke? Okay. That's a fair question to ask. But the people who think all Muslims wear hijabs probably also think that all Jewish men wear yarmulkes, so...
Does every Shrek wear a tunic?
Are
There's
you
only
really
one
scared that we're
Shrek.
going to take over America with Sharia law? I can barely wake up for Fajr, let alone wage a holy war.
You really think I want to donate 2.5...
Okay, hold up. I gotta hear that one more time. Okay.
Does every Shrek wear a tunic?
Are you really scared that we're gonna take over America with Sharia law? I can
Okay, so he says we. Do you think that we want Sharia law? Because I can barely wake up for, I think that's the morning prayer. It's been a while since I did my deep dives into Islam. But, first of all, you don't speak for all Muslims, okay? And there are Muslims who do want Sharia law in the West. I'd have to double check what it is and leave a link, but I remember from a couple years ago that I'd learned about something where this organization called the Holy Land Foundation had been raided by the FBI or something. For some reason, they found a document in their office when they were raided. And this document was basically a detailed plan for how they were going to bring Sharia law to America by a certain time frame. I think it was like 100 years. So you may not want it, and that's great. I'm happy that you're, I would say a normal, decent human being, but I don't know that. Your argument wasn't about decency. Your argument was about your own personal drive to practice your religion. But I assume I hope you're a decent person. But you don't represent all other people in your group, so you don't know. I will say, if there are people out there watching who would make the general statement of Muslims want Sharia law, I would say that it's a little bit too overgeneralized. You should recognize the difference between individuals, even individuals within a group. And I would hope you would maybe reframe it as there are plenty of Muslims who want Sharia law and are pushing for it. My goodness, what is happening? And are pushing for it, and basically just realize that not all people are the same, and try to describe the problem without making it sound like it's all people. Okay, my phone cut out there because it was too hot. I can't do the multi-window anymore, so yeah, we'll try this one more time in a few minutes. Okay, we're gonna try this one last time. Alright.
war.
You really think I want to donate 2.5% of my income to charity? Nah.